Hello, welcome to the life of Sadie Nichole. I'm Sadie Nichole, and this is my podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're having a wonderful day or evening. Just making sure the sound works. All right, so we are live here on Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube. Um, this episode will be ready on Monday. On Spotify on Monday. Hold on one moment here. Okay, there we go. Um. Anyway, I hope the week has gone well. Tomorrow's rest day. But today we continue on our journey. Cheers to life. Cheers to the life journey and how um interesting it is. Mm. If you'd like to find me on the internet, I am on the interwebs. The easiest way to find me is through my link of links. Right, so I've got a link and it's got all of my links. I do have links in the description below. If I'm missing any, which I might be, I put the main ones there. If I'm missing any, they are definitely in my link of links. And my link of links is my website, Inspire.fun slash Sadie Nichole, and that has my calendar. It has my name. It has everywhere I am on the internet. And what I'm doing. So here, if you are tuning in, you enjoy this show, go ahead and hit the like button, the follow button, the subscribe buttons. They're all there. Turn on the notification bell to be notified when I am releasing new content, which I am. I just released something actually. Hold on one second. I just released something yesterday. Yesterday, yeah. And it's the beginning of my new thing that I'm doing. This new series kind of thing that I'm going to be doing. So it's part of that. It's like the beginning. I just realized that if you had the notification bell turned on, you would have been notified when I did that. And I believe I premiered it on YouTube. So, um, let's see. Oh yeah. Also, I will be doing spontaneous like live stream IRL because that's what it's called, like in real live stream things. And so having the notification bell turned on will allow you to know when that's happening and you can be part of that. Because I make all of my content and all of my live streams very interactive with the chat. So the chat is very important to me. In fact, right? Hello, chat. And let's see if this works. And let's see if this works. Um, if you are on Twitch, check out the triggers. They're super silly and fun, and you can use them with your points to activate the triggers. If you're on YouTube, check out the loyalty store. That's through Streamlabs, and I think there's the link for that. In the chat, I can see it. The loyalty store, they're also super silly and super cute and super fun, and you can use your loyalty points to activate those. And the points on both Twitch and um, YouTube, the points are gained by interacting with the chat um, and viewing the live stream, the podcast itself. So let's see. So let's get to it. What is on deck? What is on deck here? Let me check. All right. So this is a topic. It's a good one. This is probably the most interesting. So like I have such a back and forth kind of thing with this topic because let's just get into it. So self growth is like it's not like the most like fun thing in the world. It's the most necessary, but it's not like the most fun. But it can be fun, and I've learned how to make it fun for myself for sure. But it's definitely like it's not always a good time, you know? And that's why I'm just like, "Oh, this is what we're talking about today. Oh, okay." Ugh. So, I have made my self-growth it has become my full-time job. It is my full-time occupation. I am, all in, and it's, um let's see. Self-growth requires honesty, right? And honesty is not like something that's like super like, "Oh yeah, it's just a breeze." Like, no, no. Honesty and like extreme honesty with self is like fire. It's like refining fire. And that refining fire is very hot. And anything that is on me that's not me, right? Something that I identify with that is not myself or doesn't belong there, it has to go. And so that process of going through refining fires, it burns it off and it hurts. Although it kind of like reminds me of my who I really am within this vessel is who I really am, and who I really am is not touched by this refining fire because I'm not actually physically going through it, but I feel like I am. And that's what, extreme amount of honesty that I have with myself in my self-growth process, that's what it does. It's like, I feel like I'm walking through fire right now. Ugh, like, I feel like I'm standing in the refiner's fire right now, but in this case, then I can stand here in a level of awareness of immortality because it's not real fire, and I'm not going to, like, die from it. So it's but it feels like it, you know? And, but what it does is it refines, and so it gets me down to who I really am, and so I've learned to just, like it's not that it's enjoyable, but it's necessary. What's enjoyable is getting through that and then moving forward from there and, like, enjoying what what came of that, what came of releasing, mm, parts of myself or my identity that weren't me in the first place anyway, so, um oh, yeah, that's true. So, like, I have here, like, I became my own full-time job, And I became my own full-time focus, and that is, like, probably the biggest reward that I ever gave to myself was, like, "I'm investing in you full time." I'm, like, saying to myself, "Self?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "You're alright." And then I'm like, "Cool." So, um, this process, like, I started a long time ago when I was, like, a teenager, and I said to myself that, "Self?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "I think you need to become the best that you can be." And I'm like, "How far does that go?" You know, I can't tell you. Why? Because I have no idea. It may be infinite. I don't know, but let's go. Alright, let's do it. So, that's kind of the discussion that I had with myself when I was, like, a teenager, like, "It's just you and me. Alright, me and you. Alright, let's do this." Um, However, through this journey that I've gone on, and most of the time it felt very lonely to go through this because, like, I cared. I cared about being honest with myself and checking myself and making sure that I had, like, "Is this the most integrous that I could be? Um, is this the most courageous that I could be in this moment?" Or is this and asking myself that. Now, I can generate and come up with questions to ask myself like that. But where the pressure comes, where the refining fire comes, is me answering those questions honestly. And and when I answer them honestly, it's just like that's where it's like, I thought I thought that I had made so much progress, in that journey, um, in my self-growth journey. I thought I was making so much progress, and I was, or I thought I was, until I had children. Once I had children, it just, like, showed me, like, how much progress I was not making. Talk about honesty, I was, like, being honest with myself, like, "Oh, wait, I mean, I thought I was already almost done, right?" Like, nope. And so, having children reflected back to myself how much more work I had to go, and that was, like, it was discouraging. I mean, just to be completely honest, like, it was extremely discouraging, but you know what? Oh, well, I was already I'm already on this path. And there's no going back. There's no turning back. You can't go backwards. You can only stop. That in fact, that's something that I learned in the self-growth journey is that, like, you can't really go back, back into time. Like, you can't go back in your self-growth. You can only just stop, and that's something I don't know how to do. Like, I'm kind of learning. Like, in my self-growth journey right now, we could just, like, take a halt right here, like, in my self-growth journey right now, currently, this exact moment, present moment in time, what I am learning is to be still. However, just because I'm being still, I'm still not stopping. Like, I still don't stop. In fact, I can't stop, and I won't stop. So I will remain still, and I will still work on my own self journey because my own self growth because I don't have to actually, like, be physically moving to do it. And I think that's, like, awesome. Like, it really shows me my infinite self in that I don't have to be doing anything, yet I could be moving planets around within myself. Like, I can be changing the scope of the universe inside of myself, like, on a massive scale. Like, I can be blowing planets up inside of myself if I want to, because those planets are, like, detrimental to the universe or something. Like, I can do that inside of myself. I don't have to, like, be moving, and so I've found that power of being still, and I call that moving at warp speed. That is where, instead of moving toward a destination, I remain still and the destination moves towards me. So that's warp speed, where it seems like I'm not moving at all, but in fact, I am making the universe move around me. And I've found that power in in stillness. And so that's where I am personally in my personal self-growth journey. So, like, we can step back and do, like, the general, like, self-growth topic, but if we zoom into, like, well, where are you at? Like, that's where I am right now is refining my skills moving at warp speed. So, that's I mean, I don't know. I don't that's the best way that I can describe it. Um, I I come up with my own analogies because I don't know. Like, I don't know how to articulate this, like, I'm doing my best, I write a lot, like, in my server and stuff to try to articulate, like, what I'm going through because some of the self-growth, it goes without words, right? Like, it's hard to describe because some things are wordless, and that's actually really interesting, and sometimes I paint that part. Um, Not just emotions, self-growth process, but just the learning of self and the expanding of self. But, okay, so having children expanded this knowledge of self. Right. Oh, and it so much accountability, right? Like, it forced me to see and be accountable of the programming within my own mind because whatever I was at, okay, so every level so if I speak on levels like a video game. So if my character is at level let's say the goal is to get to level 100. Let's say that's legendary. That's legendarying out some kind of skill set or some kind of, like, mastering myself, okay? If I have children and I'm at level 41, all of the programming that I have within my mind that basically are command prompts, like commands in the command prompt or a code in the programming, like, to stay or for my body to make movement, whether it's mindless or whether it's, like, with a lot of thought. Either way, whatever my programming is telling myself to, "Oh, you respond to situations like this. Oh, when this happens, this is how you respond." Like, this is my habitual decision-making pattern, and this is my habitual decision-making pattern with food, and this is my habitual decision-making pattern with people, and with like, so whatever that is, like, whatever the scope of that is, when I'm at level 41 and, like, let's say I have children, I'm going to be taking that, and that's going to be the programming that I'm going to be bestowing upon my children's minds. So their level 1 is my level 41, right? And so they are getting everything that I have within my mind. That's a lot of accountability, right? Like, of my own self. Like, either I could, like, not care and then be like, "This is just how I am, this is how life is, this is just how it is, like, it's it," right? I could be like that. And sometimes it's just be like that. But that's just not who I am, like, as a character. I'm just like, "Holy crap!" Like, I still have, like, poisonous thinking patterns in my head. Like, I still have, like, bad programming that should not be there. Like, I don't want these adorable little precious angels to have any of that in their head as their programming. Okay, I got work to do, right? And so actually, it's not just accountability, which I mean, I would venture to say that accountability is love. Eh, it's just, so, um, but it was a decision of love that I became even more stringent in my accountability and in my integrous accountability of my own honesty with myself so that I could give to my children way better, love programming from my own self, to them. So then they have wonderful, um, decision-making patterns that help them, like, you know, reach their goals without any, like, really not good stuff in there, like, no bloatware, no malware, no, like, viruses, no anything like that, like, just good. Just, like so I sped up the process in my self-growth. Having children made me very swiftly speed up the process of breaking down my programming, which we had talked about programming in the previous episode and application, but speed up the breaking down of my programming to the most basic human level. I did that, like, as fast as I could physically take it, okay, like, with my mind, so that I could give to them as simple of, clear and concise programming as possible. I mean, that's the honest truth there. Um, the most beneficial programming that I had within me or that I could gather or that I could, you know, code within me, I wanted to give that to them. And, so yeah, so having children kinda just, like, expanded and sped up my process of self-growth. Anything that I was not perfect at, obviously, like, it's their responsibility when they are a grown-up to remove that, just like it's my responsibility to do that for myself, and I'll teach them that stuff, hopefully. And actually, it's a good reason why I have this or why I produce this stuff is so that I can, you know, an avenue for me to communicate to them while I'm actually going through it right now, um, how to, like how to do all that stuff. So, when it comes to self-growth, I became my full-time job. I got really fast in my full-time job of myself, when I had children and, but, I missed some things or, like, "Ah, I'm not done," like, I'm quickly trying to get to level 42, 43, 44. Like, I'm like, I gotta improve my gaming skills. Um, so so if I did it well, then they can start with, like this was my idea here, is that they can start with streamlined programming that best serves them with no issue and no bad programming. And then from there, like, they should just be a stronger makeup, right? And that's kinda what I want for them. Not kinda, like, that is what I want for them. And that is my act of love for them, and for their minds because everything starts in the mind. So, I think that's, like, extremely important. But also, even just making that decision for me was loving, and to make that loving decision for them and for myself, it got me to the next levels of my self-growth, which came to be self-love, and having compassion for self, so that was really awesome. I really enjoyed doing that, even though it's, like, not enjoyable, but in the end, I enjoyed doing that. Um, okay, so let me just slow down. I think I'm speeding through this really fast. It's just because I have a lot to say and I'm trying to dance around the subject without, like, trying to pack it with, like, a lot because I could go on and on and on subject for a very long time. It's like the best tea. This is cinnamon tea. Cinnamon tea is probably one of my most favoritist. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Thank you for being here. We're back. If you are just tuning into my podcast, this is The Life of Sadie Nichole, and I am Sadie Nichole. We are live here on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch. If you would like to talk to me, ask me questions, or find out what I'm up to or what I'm working on, go ahead and find my Discord server link in the description. Accept the invite, and you will have arrived in my universe. If you have Substack, Substack.com, Medium.com, find my blog, The Life of Sadie Nichole, and subscribe. I will be adding more to it very, very shortly. Now, just for that, especially for that. For all of my links and event calendar, jump over to my inspire.fun, INSPYR dot fun, FUN, slash Sadie Nichole, and that link should be in the description below as well. All right. So we're talking about self growth, and this is a very awesome subject, and we can go back and forth to it probably often. Um, so in my self growth process, I had to face my own goals and look at them realistically and what would be long lasting and what goals of mine would be like long lasting as a life giving source to my life. So having a goal, is that goal going to just, like, serve me in the immediate right now? Like, how is that going to serve me, and is it going to continuously serve my life, like, positively or healthfully? I had to be honest with myself, again, in the self-growth process, like, being super honest with myself, just had to do it. Um, and so in doing so, I had to drop off a lot of stuff. I had to just let go of some things that it actually helped me asking those questions helped me identify what goals within me were not even mine. Like I didn't put those there. Um, and so it was a little bit easier to just let those go because it's just that's not even that doesn't even belong to me. I have no idea where that generated from, but it doesn't belong to me, so I'm just gonna let it go. Um the next, the next part of that with what would be long lasting is I had to that's goes back to me choosing how I want to contribute to society, how I want to contribute to my community, how I want to contribute to my nation, how I want to contribute to the world, and facing whether or not did I have any way to do any d like, do I have any way to contribute to this life with others, you know? And these questions I asked before I had children, obviously, but the fact is that my children might have to ask that same question, so if they put that question in themselves and then they ask me and I don't know, then I'm gonna be like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So, I want to discover this within my own journey so that I could answer those questions. I could be like, "Oh, yeah, I had to go through that too," like, and that's what led me to this, and what led me to my finds, my innovations, my creations, um, and kind of encompassing like, all-encompassing would be documenting my life story and documenting my progress and my process of that, of learning that, developing those things, developing those innovations, and developing those gifts that I can give to the world, uh, and that came with me facing that, facing, "Okay, I've got this giant list of goals, but which ones are mine? And which ones can actually serve me to my future for, like, long lasting, like, in a healthful, healthy way?" But I couldn't be in denial. I had to be honest with myself in answering those questions, and that was, again, like, going through a refiner's fire and burning off, which was not even to begin with. And then going deeper in my self-growth is like, what is my existence? You know? What it goes with that, with the goals. It kinda goes hand in hand. I couldn't face my goals or, like, what my goals are in life without at the same time, well, nearly at the same time, also asking myself, "What is my existence? Why am I even here? What am I even doing here besides, like, survival," which is, like, eating and sleeping and, those like, what am I doing? Like, okay, I'm observing, I'm enjoying, okay, okay, but what else, you know? So, then asking that question, "What is my existence?" led me to the answers. Answers were they're kind of the same answer, but kind of a little separate, and that is, it's my choice, and it's my freedom, and that's liberating and terrifying at the same time. It's beyond the sky's the limit. But it's my choice. It's my choice, like, what I wanna do, who I wanna be, and how I wanna be, and I really liked I really like that freedom. I really like to be able to have freedom to choose my character and how I wanted my character to be, and how I wanted, my character to respond to things. So that's what really propelled me into the programming of my own mind, is that it's my choice how I wanna be, it's my choice who I want to be, it's my choice what I want my existence to be for and about. And because it's my choice, I can be as heroic as I want to be. I can be as non-heroic as I want to be. Being honest with myself, I was able to see that I wanted to be heroic. I didn't know that's what it was at the beginning, but what I did know is that I didn't like injustice. I didn't like, things on purpose where basically other humans are choosing who they want to be, and who they want to be inflicts oppression upon others, and I didn't like that. And so I'm like, well, I don't like that. And me not liking that put me into the category of, well, then, if you want to make the choice for your existence to negate the ones who choose for their existence to be in such a way, then that would make you, hero or heroic. And it's like, oh, that whole great power, great responsibility thing. And you're going like, oh crap, like that's a lot of work. Right? So it's like, so I had to kind of just accept that, and that my choice of what I want my existence to be is in the realm of, heroism. And in that requires honesty, integrity, accountability, responsibility, So like, and that's a lot. Um, but it's worth it, and it is worth it. It's still worth it. I still do it. I still choose it. And I have at any moment, I can be like, oh, that's it. I'm done with this. I'm done trying to refine myself. I'm done growing. I can just or I'm done choosing this. Like I'm gonna choose a different. And that's my freedom. And I always have that freedom actually every single moment. I have the freedom to choose. And I love that actually. I love that that is my gift. That is my choice. It's my freedom that at any moment it's like, hey, you can choose this, and this is the heroic choice. Or you can choose this, and this is the complacent choice. Or you can choose this, and this is the nihilistic choice. Or you can choose this, and this is the, maniacal choice. Like, here's the situation that is right in front of you, and you have to choose how you want to respond. And I learned from like a coach, right? A football coach. That I love football. Like, I always watch football and stuff like full on contact sports. I played, powder puff football with the females and you know, anyway. So don't get me in front of a freaking screen with football. Like I'm gonna like scream my head off. Like I get really intensely involved in football games. So I don't watch them anymore because I'm trying to learn how to chill. But okay, so okay, what was I saying? Oh, that life is this coach says like that life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you deal with it. And it's like, oh, it's a lot of accountability. So it's a lot of responsibility, and I learned that when I was a teenager. So I'm like, okay, here's the situation that's in front of me. This is the 10% what happens to me. Me choosing for my character, just refining like who I am. What is my existence? What is my reason? Like, what do I want my reason to be? Here's the situation, 10%, and here's your choice. Like, here's your sign, like, here's your choice, right? What are you gonna do? And I played I played Tomb Raider, and in Tomb Raider, there's, like you get to choose how she responds, and depending on how you choose how the character responds, like, you get a different ending of the game, okay? So, if she's always choosing the cowardice choice, like, then she's gonna get the cowardice outcome, like, at the end of the game. And then, like, if she keeps choosing the heroic choice, like, she's going to get the heroic outcome, and, like, if she keeps choosing the maniacal choice, like, she's gonna get the maniacal so depending on the combination of decision making, like, gets the end, uh the end result alternate ending, right? So there's, like, a bunch of different alternate endings of the game depending on the choice of the character. Well, kind of the same thing for me is, like, in real life, right? Like, "Oh, it's my freedom. I get to choose. I get to choose. What am I gonna choose?" Right? Woo! I guess I'm pretty predictable because I'm most likely going to always choose, like, the heroic choice, right? Um, but that's the 90%. It's like, "Oh, but if you choose this heroic choice, then this is how you get to experience this situation, right? This 10% of what is happening to you, you're 90% of how you deal with it. How you deal with it is like your experience, and your experience is about to be like this. And I just want to say, making the heroic choice is not always the most fun experiences. Not really. The most worth it, not the most fun. Not all the time. Sometimes, yes. Other times, it's absolutely horrifying. But it makes the character stronger, you know? So then the next time that another situation comes up and I have a choice again and I go to choose the heroic choice, and it's like, you know what I mean? Usually the stakes are higher, right? And it's more intense, and the resistance is more intense, and everything's more intense because you're going up to a higher level in your self growth process, or in my self growth process, right? So it's like, do you still want to choose it? And it's like, like, so. And in those times, it's like, oh, it's teetering. Like, do I want to choose the complacent, the complacency or the complacent decision instead? Because it would be so much more chill. But it's like, but it has a different outcome. It has an alternate ending. And the alternate ending, you know, we have the power to kind of like calculate things and have a little bit of foresight to know at least likely possibilities of what the alternate ending would be, right? So it's like, oh, no, no, I don't want that ending. Okay, fine. So it's like, I'm doing it. So that's choosing the heroic choice goes like that, like, "All right, that's it, I'm doing it." Just like bungee jumping or something, like, just do it. But it's to me, that is the courageous choice, and the courageous choice is like bungee jumping, like, yeah, you can strap it on, you can look down the it's like, you gotta actually, like, jump off, right? Or get pushed off, or kicked off, right? But you gotta actually, like, go off the ledge, right, to experience that, and, you know oh, man. So, that's what I have to say about freedom and choice. I will always be an advocate to say choose love, and usually choosing love is the heroic choice. Choosing love is the courageous choice. In fact, nearly every single time I've ever chosen love, I can't even actually it might be every single time. It becomes, much more, um I don't wanna say it's easier. It's not, but it's like it always tests your level of courage. Choosing love almost every single time tests your level of courage. It's just how it works. Like, that's my experience. This I'm just someone who has always chosen love even though it was horrifyingly scary, okay, a lot of times. It requires courage. Choosing love requires courage. Not I would say 9 times out of 10. It might actually be 10 times out of 10, but I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10 because other times, like with my kids, I choose love and it's not scary. So, okay, fine. I'll put it at 9 times out of 10. Choosing love is the courageous choice. 9 times out of 10, the courageous choice is choosing love. So, that's I'm always going to be an advocate of that. I'm always gonna say, like, yes, I'm voting choose love. I'm voting for courage, right? Like, that's what I vote for. Like, if somebody asks me, "What should I do?" Well, you know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say choose love. I'm gonna say, what's the courageous choice in this? Like, I'm gonna vote for that one. Do you really want my input on this? Um, okay. So beyond the scary part of the self-growth process, then there's like the joyful part, right, of the self-growth process. And I would say the joyful part is expression or art, right? The expression of my self journey, my self growth, the expression of self and the expression of my existence and sharing it with the world. That is probably the most joyful part of the self growth process. Um, and that joyful expression is my art. It is my innovations. It is even my small business because, as I have stated before, small business then is an expansion of self. And so my expansion of myself is my business, my innovations, and my art. They are like me recreating me where I'm at that time and like get away, right? Um, that's really interesting. That's a really interesting concept. Now that I just said that like out loud, like that is a very interesting concept. Anyway, and so I do that. I share with with joy in my heart, really, as I still continue with my self growth. I share my expression of myself and where I am through my art, through my innovations, through my business, and the whole journey that I'm taking during that whole entire process. I am expressing in my life story and the documentation of my life story because I don't know. I maybe it's the scientist part of me, maybe it's the writer part of me, but I care. I care that I exist. And me caring that I exist, I'm showing myself love by documenting my story. And so that's why I continue doing it. I continue documenting my story so then even I myself can look back and be like, "Oh, okay. I," and even I've looked back on my own documentation of my own story and my own expressions of my own, where I was in my self-growth at that time, and I've grown even more from viewing my own documentation of my own life process, like, "Oh, I remember when that happened, and and somehow I can use that as applicable, whether it's wisdom or knowledge I can use, in the here and the now wherever I'm at, observe that. And then the byproduct of of my self-growth. So there's me sharing with the world my self-growth, and that is through my art, innovation, and business. And then there is the journey of my self-growth, and that's where I'm documenting my life story. And then there's the byproduct of my self-growth, and that is what I can give to the world. That's how I see it anyway. What I can give to the world, only I can, and that is my character, my wisdom. That's what I have to give from my self-growth. That's the byproduct. That's the essence of what remains and what still continues to evolve and what is formless and can continue on even if the vessel doesn't continue on. The character and the wisdom can still keep going, right? And so that's what I have to give now. Like, what is my existence? That's my choice and that's my freedom. How can I contribute to life, to society, to my country, to my family, to my community, to the world? Like, how can I contribute? It's like, with my character, with my wisdom, my art, my innovation, my small business, and documenting my life story in the whole process. And I think that is all very beautiful. That's quite a lot. That's quite abundance in my opinion. And that makes my self-growth process I get excited about it, even though it's not always sunshine and rainbows, but, um, I get excited about it because I keep getting to refine my character, and I keep getting to gain new wisdom and also share my wisdom, and I keep getting to make new art and release new innovations and, you know, do what I like to do is help people, um, with my business, right? And so, and I also get to, entertain people, which since I was very young, since I was just a little tiny girl, um, I've always loved to entertain people. Like, I don't know why. I just that's just how but I entertain people with, like, real life. Um, I don't know. It's just how it's just how my character is. And so I get to do all these things. That's where I find my joy, is that I get to create my own character. I get to document my life story. I get to make art works of art, right? I get to, you know, come up with a new innovation, like, and figure out how it all goes together and stuff like that. Like, I get to do that. I get to do that stuff, and that is, like, rad, you know? Um, I'm really happy about that. So let's see here. That's what I think about self-growth process, and I would love to know what you think about that. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I'd like to know. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Life of Sadie Nichole podcast. If you enjoyed my show, be sure to subscribe, follow, and show some love in the comment section below. Let's see here. Uh, on all of my platforms, I have this charity that really means a lot to me. And I would love help to support this very heroic cause, and this cause is to save the children. Above all, our children are our future. They are the little us's when we were little, and we get to grow up and become heroes if we want to be, or innovators and inventors and artists if we want to be, that will, help move everyone else forward. Well, we were little once, and these little children, they're little now, and their minds are, working along, and they're learning things, and they need to be able to have a chance to become the characters that they want to be and to contribute to the world in the way that they want to, and therefore, they are our future. And right now, they're too little to be heroes for themselves. Right now, they need heroes to help them and to rescue them from where they are. And this organization is full of real heroes that do rescue and save children from the darkest, most horrific nightmare and nightmare circumstances. Um, and so I wanna ask, please help me to help them and donate to Save the Children. The link I've put in the description and the about section. Thank you for doing that. If you would like to support me and support my streams, um, become a subscriber on Twitch. Um, Go to my server, my Discord server, and become a subscriber, a red member. Become a member on YouTube. Purchase a print of my photography on my website. I love I love photographing things, flowers, mostly in nature. Purchase a copy of my photography catalog that I created. It's beautiful. About 250 pages in every single one of the photography. Purchase my merch. That's also in my website. And I designed it, it's really I love it. Um, Also my fashionable leggings, the Artemis leggings or the Demeter leggings, which are coming soon. Um, all of these are on my website, inspire.fun/Sadie Nichole or inspire.fun, INSPY. The link is in the description. Or simply join my server and hang out with me. The link is in the description and the about section. That or spread the word about the life of Sadie Nichole. Thank you so much for tuning in. May peace be with you, and may all of your dreams come true.